welcome back to another video here on the Turn Up the Jets YouTube channel. As always, I'm your host, Joe Scurto. And before we get into the video, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Definitely appreciate all the support. Smash that like button if you've liked the video. And you could also follow me on other social media platforms such as X and on Instagram at Turn Up the Jets, all one word. So the Jets are a few weeks into training camp now, and we got a lot of things to talk about because it's your classic overreaction, whether it's kind of a negative narrative or a positive narrative. You just got to love the overblown hype around training camp because in reality, it really doesn't matter. In reality, stats in training camp doesn't mean a lick of shit. Excuse my French, but let's be honest here. I mean, seeing all of these crazy tweets that, you know, about Justin Fields going 4 for whatever with an interception to like, maybe we should look into Tyrod Taylor. I mean, let's be honest. Like, we knew Justin Fields coming in was going to be the biggest question mark for this roster, but let's not already raise hell because he threw an interception in training camp. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, you're running situations that maybe a quarterback isn't used to. He is really just, you know, restricted to the way he plays, though, because he is a runner. Justin Fields isn't running around and taking hits in training camp. That's not going to happen. He wears a red jersey for a reason. So I just wanted to kind of give my training camp updates. I've kind of been out of things for the last week since I've been on vacation. So I'm happy to be back, and it kind of gave me time to really think about what am I going to blab about this time. I do want to start off by saying that the New York Jets are playing the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field on Saturday night on NFL Network, which now apparently is ESPN, I guess, with you know, them throwing out $6 billion to have NFL Network rights and the NFL Red Zone rights. But the Jets will be traveling to Green Bay. It's our first look at Aaron Glenn as coach, and it is also going to be our first look as Justin Fields as quarterback because they are playing the starters. Here's Aaron Glenn today after practice.
Saturday. We're playing. We're playing. I can't tell you how much guys are going to play. You know, it's going to factor about how the game goes, but we're playing. Reason, because I want to play. That's the reason.
It's important at this point for Justin and these guys.
I want guys to play. That's the reason.
So classic Aaron Glenn here, just really giving it to the media. You got to love it. But the Jets, you heard them, are playing their starters, and I think it's the 100% right move here. Yes, there's been injuries. Quinnen's had a calf injury. Will McDonald was battling an injury. Malachi Moore, who seems to be okay, was battling an oblique injury. And John Simpson was battling an injury. Like, this is going to happen. I think I'm most concerned about Quinnen Williams just from what we know from calf injuries. And they're going to probably be most cautious about him because you know what you have in Quinnen. You have a superstar. He's one of the best players on the team. There's no need to rush, and there's no need to see him in preseason. But this preseason is really basing off of who's going to win the job. Let's go to defense first because it's obvious. It's for the offense. But for the defense, the cornerback room is crowded, so who's going to make the roster and who's going to be a hard cut? And that second D tackle spot for Quinnen Williams is going to be something to look forward. It also gives an opportunity for both, you know, 2 out of the 3 guys that are trying to get that one spot to play because obviously you won't have Quinnen Williams to play. And then you look at the offense, you need to see what you have. Justin Fields is actually going to be playing a game. Like, what does he look like in comparison to training camp? Because it's been way more negative than positive, and I don't think it's the end of the world. I just think the whole overreaction, whether it is positive or negative, like let's say Justin Fields looked great, and everyone's saying, oh my goodness, he looked so great, blah, blah, blah. I would also tone it down. Like, can we just see a real game? And not that this is going to give us our answer, but I think you roll him out there for 2 possessions, and maybe probably besides John Simpson because he's been battling an injury, that maybe gives an opportunity for a guy like Myers to shift to whether it's guard or center, and then you give Tippmann center guard. Maybe you switch them one possession and the other, and it gives you opportunity what you have at wide receiver. So I love the move, and maybe some people would disagree because they're worried about getting hurt, but that's literally all the old regime of Saleh and Joe Douglas did. It was almost too conservative. Like the Jets had won divisions prior and be like, okay, we could rest our guys. Like, look at the Bengals. The Bengals were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. They missed the playoffs last year, and they're literally playing Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, all of those guys. Like they're playing their stars week 1 in the preseason because they have something to prove. And they need to get back on track. So I'm glad the Jets, we've never seen this offense before. They aren't going the conservative route here, and they are playing their guys because they need to be prepared. The Jets under Saleh were never really prepared because it was too much of a, we want to rest these guys. Okay, cool. But then when you played San Francisco last year, you got your doors blown off and didn't even look prepared to play a football game. At least this regime here, they're taking hits in practice and they're going to play the preseason. Yes, injuries come with it. That's the risk of playing football. It comes with it, and it's going to come with it in the preseason and practice. It's going to be the same thing in regular season. So it's nothing new. People get injured playing the game of football. That's the risk you take. And when you have a new offensive coordinator, a new quarterback learning the system, a couple new faces in the offensive line, a lot of new faces maybe competing for a starting receiver spot, new faces in the tight end room. And I forgot to mention Mason Taylor's been battling a ankle injury as well. When I was listening to those injured guys, that's one we're worried about. Unfortunately, you can't really see him because you want to see what he has since he's a rookie. But like, this is a new look offense, and it's only so much a training camp can give you because it's not real football. I've said it on this channel a lot of times. They play situational football. Like Justin Fields isn't playing his brand of football in a training camp practice. He isn't. He may be told, hey, do this or try this. They're trying out different things. They're learning the offense, and he is learning the offense as these practices are going on. It's called practice. So I'm not overly worried about the Justin Fields overblown statistics of how poorly he's played because we knew he was a question mark, but let's not act like this is going to happen in the regular season. And it would have been, again, the same thing if he was balling out. Everyone would be like, okay, it's training camp, whatever. So I'm glad they're playing a football game. Yes, it doesn't go to a win-loss record, but at least it will give you a little more, it'll give you a little peace of mind, right? To see what you got and maybe what you'll see week 1 on September 7th when the Jets play the Steelers. So I'm excited that the Jets are playing their starters. Aaron Glenn did not release how long, and I would have to guess the offense plays minimum 2 drives. Like I don't see them playing 1 drive unless they're talking they go 80 yards, 7-minute drive, and maybe okay, that's all I wanted to see. But I would say at least minimum 2 drives for the Jets offense, and it'd probably be pretty similar for the Jets defense as well, even though you kind of know what they got. And that's another thing. Like with the Jets offense struggling, it could mean the other, like the Jets defense could be really good. Maybe it could be a lot better than we thought. Last year they had all the expectations and they failed, but the 2 years prior, they were a top tier defense. And even last year, they were still top 2 in scoring defense. It didn't look like that in the eye test, but certainly it shows that they have the talent to be a really good unit. So that could be a positive that you can gain out of the negative that you've heard from Jets camp. I did hear, though, that Fields played a lot better, complete more half his passes today. Again, these stats are just a load of trash. But, I mean, that's all you got to talk about, and that's really all we have right now in terms of a track record of what this team will look like with Justin Fields, Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji. So, but, yeah, I think – giving these guys the opportunity to play in the preseason is super important. It's something the old regime didn't do. And this is a team that hasn't made the playoffs creeping up to 15 years. Like, you haven't proved anything. Let's go out and let's get as much reps as we can. So when they go play Pittsburgh, they don't look like they haven't done anything for a whole year. They've played football. They've been taking reps in preseason. They're taking hits in practice. I like the way this is going, but now let's see it. So, long story short, I'm not really overly concerned. I'm concerned more. My most concern is the Quinnen Williams injury, if we're being honest. Like, the calf injury is serious. It could turn into Achilles. We don't know. I mean, I can't believe I just said that word, but we just know. Like, it's happened in basketball players a lot often. You saw it in Halliburton, Tatum, Dame Lillard. They all did it. They all had calf injuries going to the playoffs, and they all tore their Achilles. Aaron Rodgers, if you forgot about that, he had a calf injury in that training camp his first year in 2023. He did. And he patched his calf up, and boom. But luckily, Quinnen has a lot of time to rest and isn't forced to go out to play. So that's my biggest concern. Like, I'm not overly worried. Like, I already knew what Justin Fields, like, the experience was going to be. It's an unknown. It seriously is an unknown. This guy could be either really good, or the Jets are picking early in the draft once again and potentially taking their franchise quarterback. So it will totally be interesting to see them in pads on Saturday against the Green Bay Packers. I will definitely try to put up at least a preview or maybe a post game. It probably would either be Sunday or Monday. I won't be able to do it Saturday night, but definitely we'll try to get a post game and just post game reactions of what I saw and what my thoughts were. But I definitely want to just go on, just rant a little bit. There's not a whole lot going on here except for reports that, that's all you have. And it's hard because you don't know what's going on in the practices. But for like the 10th time saying, the Jets do play the Green Bay Packers on Saturday at 7. Football is back. Cannot wait for that. And appreciate everyone for watching. Again, slam that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me at Turtle Jets, all one word, on Instagram and on X. And until next time, see ya.